You are a diamond, whether you realize it or not. You are a diamond. I remember years ago when I was traveling to Arkansas, and that's the only place, at least in the United States, that I know of where you can actually mine for diamonds. It literally is a huge diamond mine, a huge field that's been there forever. And I remember before we even began to even go out into the field, just imagine like a couple football fields. That's how large this place is. And this was many years ago when I went with my family. And I remember we had to go through this training. We were with these guys. I don't even know what you call their positions, but let's just say they're diamond mining experts, whatever you want to call it. And they were sitting there and they were teaching us, taking us through a class on how you recognize the diamond. And they were telling us, they said, up front, if you find a diamond, it's not going to look like it because this field was so large. And the whole point is go out there and try to mine and find a diamond. And many, many, many diamonds have been found in this field, by the way, like large diamonds. And what they teach you is that don't throw away what may look like dirt to you or what may look like a rock. And they had pictures up on in one of the rooms where they showed us this is how it may look. It may look rough. Diamonds initially look really rough. They're very irregular in shape. I mean, it literally looks like something that you would just step on and keep on going, literally. And they look dull. Oftentimes it's got a brownish or like a yellowish type of color to it. Sometimes it's oily, it's greasy. There's nothing about the look of a diamond that looks worth anything when you look at it at face value. Now you all already know where I'm going with this because I'm starting to get, you know, trying not to shout right now as I'm talking to you because for those who follow my podcast, you know where I'm going with this. There is nothing that looks of value initially when you look at that diamond. And so I wanted to take my butt on out there on the field and start looking for some diamonds. I was like, I don't want to sit in this line and deal with these classes. And, and they give you this little rack and they show you how to shake it and how to put it on the water. And it's this whole process. It's just like, I was like, I don't want to do all of this. Like, let's just go find some diamonds. I want to go find the shiny diamonds. And the guide, I'll just say tour guide for lack of a better word, was showing us, well, let's first learn how you go about even recognizing them. And they were showing us how we have to shake this thing back and forth. Now, for those of you who are listening to my podcast, I'm kind of shaking my hands right now, but you have to shake this sort of, it looks like a board with like a metal rack in between it with all these little holes. Then you have to put it under the water. So you got to get dirty. You have to get your hands dirty. In fact, they tell you don't even wear your best clothes to this thing. And then even still, you have to kind of go through it and look for some of the signs that it may be a diamond. And that's when they were showing us that this is how it's going to look. The shape is going to be irregular. It's not going to look of value. In fact, it's going to look dull. It's going to look yellowish. It's going to look brownish. It might be oily or greasy. It may just look like a piece of real dull, broken glass that's surrounded by a rock or something. We had to walk through that class first so that we can understand when we take our butts out there on that field, we don't walk away from something that's highly valuable because to the naked eye, it looks like nothing. Now, let me wrap this around to you all. You all already know I'm talking about our lives. It is time that we know the truth about ourselves. You are a diamond, my dear sisters, and I should say brothers as well. I know there's a couple men that listen to me as well. You are a diamond, and you may be a diamond in the rough, but you are a diamond. When we went out there on that field and we were looking at all of it was just imagine dirt just as far as you can see, right? And people are all over the place and you have your little shovels and your little sun hat on and your little trays and you're flopping around all over the stuff and it's hot and you're sweating. Now keep in mind, I actually really enjoyed it, to be honest with you, but it was not a beautiful environment. It was not a beautiful environment at all. You're walking through all of this dirt up and down, and you don't even know where to begin. Like it's just so huge, and they just basically say, "Hey, go dig," right? And there are times when I was doing my thing and I thought I found a diamond. Turns out it was like a quartz or some other metals or what have you. But I was out there, thinking I found one, and the way that it works is when you find a diamond, at least when you think you find one, you run to one of the I guess one of the expert people, they have them sort of scattered throughout the place a little bit. And then they do their thing where they look at it. And if it's a real diamond, they ring the bell and everyone starts clapping and the bell is rung. And so throughout the day, you'll hear the bell rung a couple times because somebody actually really found a diamond. And then you go on to one of the little shop places where they, if you want, you can actually sell it right then and there, believe it or not. They literally would buy it from you and shape it and polish it and all of that. But once you get this diamond, here's what's interesting. And I didn't find a diamond. I found some quartz and some other things, a number of other things that I found. But once you find it, I was watching the process, how it happens. It's amazing. They clean it up really good. They um, they still have to do a number of things with this diamond. They have to cut it. They have to do some sort of trimming with it. I actually had written a note down or two on it. They have to do some sort of crushing just to even get to the actual diamond. Then there's some sort of a unique polishing that they do with it, right? It's a number of things that they do before the unique, I should say, the brilliance of the diamond comes shining through. And then you can see, and I remember this one little boy, he found a diamond, but then you can actually see this beautiful expensive diamond shining beautifully, and then you can get it cast into a ring or a necklace or what have you. I feel like I'm doing a sponsorship for that place. They're not paying me to say this, just so you all know. But anyway, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking up where is this diamond mining field in Arkansas that Z's talking about. But it's there, trust me. And I'm from that area, so I know. But anyway, let me. I digress. Let me get back to where I'm going at. You all, it's time that you know the truth about who you are. I know firsthand how difficult life can be. I know firsthand the vast majority of people are going through a lot of things right now. I know it. Not only from my own personal conversations, not only from my own doggone life. Let's just get real. Not only from my own life, but from people I talk to, from all of the messages that we get in from people from the podcast. We get in thousands of messages on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. Many of you are aware of that. I know, my brothers and sisters, life can be tough. And I know sometimes you can be thinking, when is it going to get better? And I know, especially for you entrepreneurs and business owners, right? Especially talking to you all as well. I know sometimes it can be like, well, when am I going to turn this corner? I've been working so hard, and did God really call me to do this? And how, or for some of you who may be thinking, how did I get to this stage in life? Like, this was not a part of the formula. And then some of you are starting to doubt yourself, doubt your worth, or think maybe you're not good enough, or maybe you were wrong all along, or maybe you don't have what it takes to survive through this next season. By God's grace, I'm going to be speaking this weekend. I'm going to be in Houston, Texas, at a beautiful conference. You all can find out more about it on my website. I'll put a link up on my site at unlockinggreatness.com. But I'm going to be speaking to all these amazing women, and it's God's grace that they invited me to keynote this event. It's sort of like a large a women's conference that they're putting together in Houston, Texas. On what is the actual date? God, let me remember. I believe the actual date is December 13th is the actual date that I'm speaking. And what I'm looking forward to talking to them about, at least one of the things that I'm going to be talking about, because my topic is on dealing with tough times. How do you get through these seasons? I want everyone, including those listening to this podcast right now, I want you all to get the truth about who you really are. Because once we get the truth about who we really are, once we are really able to see that rock, that rock, that, or that, whatever you want to call it, whatever mineral from the earth, once we're able to see the truth, the brilliance of it, the uniqueness of it, how God shaped you just for this season, once we're able to get the truth, everything begins to change, because we recognize that we are a diamond. We are a diamond. We're precious in God's eyes. And sometimes we don't know that because we don't know the truth. Sometimes we can be believing a lie about ourselves for so long, it literally feels like the truth. I've been going through my own journey lately, this last year and a half. While it's been one of the most rewarding years for me, especially with the retreats that we now have and the mentoring and all of those things that I'm involved with and I do, it's also been one of the most challenging years because I've been challenged to look at myself. We have to know the truth about who we are before God. I love how Dr. Miles Monroe put it. He has a wonderful book called titled The Spirit of Leadership. He talks about how you have to go back to that original version. Go back to the manufacturer's guide. I think that's the way he put it. He puts it so beautifully. Go back to the manufacturer's guide and look at, what did God have in mind when he made you? What is the manufacturer's instruction? You all, if our eyes are not open to the truth, Let me explain to you what happened because it almost happened to me several times in my life, even recently, if I can be very frank with you. You will begin to doubt your gifts, your talents. You will begin to question your worthiness. You will begin to allow the enemy to, what is the right phrase I want to put on it? To abort your destiny. You will begin to make scarcity decisions. You will begin to make decisions from a point of view of maybe I'm not good enough for this or that. You will begin to question all the things that you've done. And I know many of you all are going through this because I've had a lot of conversations with people, and especially those of you all who are professionals, who are executives, who are leaders, who are business owners, CEOs like myself. So many people are going through this stage of refinement. It is not even funny, where you literally have to look at. I've heard so many people say, how did I get to this point here in life? This is not how it was supposed to turn out. Like, how did I get at this curve? So if you're anywhere in that description, I pray what I'm about to tell you is going to help you. First of all, I want you to recognize you are a diamond. You're a diamond. Might be a diamond in the rough, but you're a diamond. Let's read really quickly a couple passages I want to give you to encourage you all. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I actually have a workshop I'm about to lead for members in the Unlocking Greatness community. I'm going to have a workshop with them on this subject matter, but I want to share with you all just a few things. In Hebrews chapter 12, let's first read why do we even go through these seasons. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 10 said, let's go to verse 7. Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as sons. For what son is not disciplined by his father? If you're not disciplined and everyone undergoes discipline, then you're illegitimate children and not true sons. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who discipline us and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of our spirits and live? Our fathers disciplined us for a little while as they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good, that we may share in his holiness. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who've been trained by it. So it makes me wonder when we go through some of these seasons, and if you've read my book, Necessary, many of you all already have a copy. In fact, our book club meeting is coming up soon. You know I'm referring to that chapter in there that's titled The Pruning Season. When we go through these seasons, we have to realize that even when God is disciplining us and allowing us to go through these stages in life, right? He's training us. He's producing a harvest of righteousness. There are some things that God's been working on me and my character that you just would not believe. I was just like, oh my goodness, God. And I would tell him, and I know this is weird, and I know this may not resonate with people, but I would say, God, put me through it again. Put me through it again until I get it right. There are some areas in my life where God was really showing me some things in my spirit, some things with dealing with pride. I'm just being very transparent with you all. God can't do anything with that. Some other areas in my life where he was showing me, these are a few things that I just want to, I want to dig in this corner a little bit and take this out because that's not going to help me with what I need to do in your life. What are the areas in your life where he's disciplining you, where he's doing some things, he's allowing some things so that you can walk through, whether it's humility, whether it's compassion, whether it's dealing with pride or ego or vanity or just trusting in yourself and your own talents. It can be whatever. And let me be clear on this. It doesn't mean that you have to be doing something wrong. I won't even get into that. We can get into the book of Job on that one. Sometimes God is allowing things to happen so that he can be glorified in it. But there's times when we go through these seasons and we have to look at God, what can you possibly be showing me in my life that I need to work on? That's why I always tell him, I say, God, thank you for this opportunity to grow. In fact, I want to challenge you all to this. I want to challenge you all in your prayer and when you talk to God. Now this is pretty strong, but I want to challenge you to say to him, God, show me any area of my life that doesn't look like you or doesn't smell like you, no matter how big or small it may seem. Those are the prayers that I've been having the last several months with God. And you got to be aware when you have those kind of prayers, he will show you. And I've been asking him, God, please search every area of my heart. If there's anything, I don't care how small or how tiny, if there's any area that doesn't look like you, that doesn't reflect you, pull it out, reveal it to me. Show me what I need to do to change. And there's some areas where he's showing me, oh, okay, I see this over here. I'm going to work on this with you. I see this over here. I'm going to work on this with you. And I don't like the discipline in it. But then what comes from it, and I was just praising him and shouting this morning, just glorifying him. I said, God, I just love you so much. And then I say to him, and I know not everyone is able to do this, but this is what I say to him when I think through all the tough seasons I've gone through. God, thank you. I told him the other day, I don't even know if I should be sharing this, but I'm just telling you all. I said, God, thank you for humbling me. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for reminding me that everything I have, everything I do, all of it is from you. Thank you for the lessons you've given me. I thank you. And you all, when you get to a point where, because none of us are perfect, you all, everybody has their things that they're working on, and God has to help them in certain areas. But when you get to a point where you become this vessel where God can use you and God doesn't have to restrain how much he uses you because it won't go to your head. When you get to this point where God can freely use you, you're just a vessel that he's just pouring into. When you get to that point, you all, the amount of things that begin to open up for you is out of this world. It's almost as if, and I think I wrote about this in my book, Necessary, because I talked about this in one of the chapters where I said, God had to humble me and bring me to such a point where he can trust me with the provisions and the things he wanted to put in my life. He can trust me with the exposure that he wanted to give in my life so that I can glorify him and it won't go to my head. Does that make sense? I talk about that in one of those chapters. So whenever we're going through these seasons, I like to just thank God for no matter what it is. God, thank you for humbling me. Thank you for showing me another opportunity to grow. Thank you for loving me enough to reveal to me other things that I need to work on. So every single day, I have these intimate conversations with God where I'm just like, okay, God, how did I do today? I tell him almost every day, I say, God, I'm going to do better next time. And if I fall short in a certain area, I would literally, this is the God honest truth, I would say, God, put me through that again. I'm going to do better next time. Put me through it one more time. Because I want it cleaned out of my spirit, out of my heart. I don't want anything in me, anything there that doesn't represent him. Anyway, let me keep going with this. So we just looked at Hebrews 12 about discipline. Now I want you all to turn to Proverbs 31 really quickly. And I pray this encourages you all because I want you all to know that you are a diamond. Proverbs 31, I've talked about this lady before. I've talked about her a number of times. The Proverbs 31 woman is what I call her. Hang on a second here. Let me get to my Proverbs here. Why is it hiding from me? Okay. Proverbs 31. There's just one passage in here that I want to talk about. I love it. I love it. I love it. Proverbs 31 in verse 10, the second part of verse 10, he's talking about a wife of noble character. He says, she is worth far more than rubies. This is what I want you all to know, my dear sisters. And I guess I should say my brothers as well. You're worth far more than rubies. You're precious. You are a diamond. And sometimes we have to go through those crushing seasons. Sometimes we have to go through those seasons of being polished and being refined. But God didn't make a mistake when he made you. He certainly didn't make a mistake when he gave you your gifts and talents and dreams. And I understand sometimes you can be a little discouraged by it, but he didn't make any mistakes with it. There's been times in life, you all, and many of you all know I've been in business going on 30 plus years, right? Oh my goodness. I've had my ups when I was in my best years of my life, and I've definitely had my downs. But here's something I notice about those down seasons. Each and every time, by the way, this is the God honest truth. In my down seasons has been the times when I found the diamonds deep into the valleys, when God has revealed and shown me the gold in the situation, or I should say the diamond in the situation. Let me explain what I mean by that for those who are not used to following my podcast or maybe have no idea what I'm talking about. It's in those crushing seasons, and it's in those seasons when God is refining me because he loves me, that then he reveals and shows something to me. He literally, oh my gosh, this is the truth. He gives me a strategy. He shows me, it's almost like he uncovers and shows the diamond that was caked around all of that mud and dirt. and he shows me either a strategy of something to do or how I can glorify his name, or if, to be honest with you, how I can grow my business by helping other people get through what I just went through. Does that make sense? He always, or something in my heart, my character that he's pulled out that makes me shine brighter. He always in that season has a diamond. I think in my book I say gold. He has that revealed to me where all of a sudden it just opens up. And then I begin to see it. I'm experiencing one of those moments now, if I can be honest with you all. And I'm like, oh my goodness, God. Now I see why, even in this last year, year and a half, you allowed me to go through so much. I thank you. Because now you're showing me others are going through it. And I had to put you through it. One, to deal with you, work on some things in your character, which we all have things in our character to work on, right? But two, so that you can then turn around and be a guide and help others who are coming out of dark places, who needs that experience, who are going through that experience and needs that guidance. And I didn't even realize it because I thought he was just putting me through some things. And like, what did I do wrong, God? I'm serving you. I'm trying to do right. Like, what is it what do you want now from me? Right? And all the time, all God was doing was just polishing me more, just like he's doing with you now. Revealing that beautiful diamond that you are, my brothers and sisters. You're so much more valuable than you realize. What you may be looking at may not look like much to you. And I get it. You may be going through a difficult season. Many of us are going through some things, whether it's personal and marriage or finances, or it doesn't have to have anything to do with business or money or anything like that. It could just be something just completely different, dealing with trauma from your childhood, all of that, right? You may be going through it. But I pray to God that your eyes are open and you realize how valuable you are. You're put here for a reason. When he made you, he had himself in mind, by the way. And for those of you who are dreamers, the entrepreneurs out there, I really want to speak to you all. The enemy is doing a wonderful job trying to come after the people of God, to get them to doubt themselves, their talents, or to get them to stop or quit. You know, many of them are tired, going through so many things, especially with the changes in the economy and everything going on. Don't you dare shrink back. God has made you as priests and kings. You believe in that dream that God has given you. And despite what may be going on around you, you ask God to show you his strategy for your life and for your business and the direction you should head. And even if you're not a business owner, for your life, period, spiritually, for personal development, you ask God to show you the way to go. You are a diamond, whether you realize it or not. There's a passage in Isaiah 43, verse 4. Let's turn to that really quickly. I'm going to be closing this out in a minute. I think it's Isaiah 43. Let me get to it. Isaiah 43, one of my favorite passages. And I think it's is it verse 4? I'm coming. In verse 4, Isaiah 43. And this is a beautiful passage because he talks about in verse 2, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. And he just goes on to talk about, I am the Lord your God. He's telling you that he's with you. But I love in verse 4, he says, since you are precious and honored in my sight, and because I love you, those are the reasons why he rescues. Those are the reasons why he exalts, why he lifts up. Does that make sense, you all? I was reading in First Chronicles. I don't have time to turn to it now. First Chronicles this morning, I was reading my Bible and I was looking at the prayer of David. And one of the things that was so beautiful that David said, I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I just want to share it very, very quickly. In First Chronicles chapter 29, I guess around verse 11 or so, he said, yours, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the majesty and the splendor, for everything in heaven and earth is yours. Yours, O Lord, is the kingdom. You are exalted as head over all. Wealth and honor come from you. You are the ruler of all things. In your hands are strength and power to exalt and give strength to all. You all, you're precious in God's sight. You're precious and honored before Him. Let us never forget the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So if he can just get you to stop believing in yourself, or maybe believe that God is not there, that He's not present, that He's not listening to your prayers, or that He doesn't care, He's forgotten about you, if he can just get you to believe that, then he can get you to abort your own destiny. He can get you to stop doing what God has called you to do. And we're not going to let that happen. You're not going to let that happen. God's not going to let that happen. So I want to end by going back to the story about the diamonds. Imagine not knowing that you are a diamond. So imagine me going out on that field, which is what I was trying to do because I was going to bypass all that training, right? And can you imagine? And I'm thinking about the little boy that did find a diamond. Without the training, without knowing what a diamond even looks like, right? Without being there, we were trained by this man who was standing there showing us what to look for. Without that training, you can be trampling over diamonds and not even know it. My challenge to you all is, how many of you right now are trampling over diamonds? It could be opportunities even. Trampling over diamonds that God is showing you right now and not even know it. Not even know it. Because it looks rough, it looks brownish, it looks yellowish, it looks dull, it looks irregular. You all see what I'm saying? When I wrote Necessary, and I was going through all of that stuff, all of those seasons, right? And many of you have read the book and you know, from my marriage to finances to the loss of my son, you name it, right? There is no way in the world. In fact, I would have had some really choice words for you if you would have told me that diamonds would be produced from that gold would be produced from that a book would be written from that lives all around the world would be changed as a result of that. I can't even begin to tell you how many people, and this is not a plug for me or a plug for the book or pride speaking. Let me be clear. I'm using this as a testimony. I can't tell you how many people have written or given reviews or messaged us in some way and said, you don't even know what I was thinking of doing. But because I read your story, because I see you going through the fire, and because I see how God turned it around in your life, I see how you refused to give up on Him. I see how even after you lost your son, you turned around and you were given to other people who had lost their children. I see how you had to fight to even be close to God, even when you didn't feel His presence. Because I see the diamonds, the gold, the refinement that you allowed God to take you through, I now have hope. Your story is the same, my brothers and sisters. You are a diamond. And the call to action right now is don't trample on that diamond anymore. Sit in the presence of God and ask Him to show you. This is what I've been doing the past probably year and a half. Who am I really? Show me who I really am in the Spirit. Show me the value that you put into me. Show me how can I pour into others and give and help others, dear God. Sit in the presence of God and ask Him to reveal and show you the diamond that's in the rough. Okay? I love you all. I love you all tremendously. I hope to see some of you all in Texas at this upcoming speaking event. You can go to unlockinggreatness.com to learn a little bit more about it and to learn a little bit more about the retreats now that we're launching, which I'm extremely excited about. But I love you all. I love you. I love you. I love you. I want you all to be encouraged. And I look forward to seeing you all also on the 11th of every month on the 11th for our book club meeting at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I love you all. You are a diamond in the rough, and don't you ever forget it. You're listening to Unlocking Greatness podcast with Zenja Glass.